Modern Vegan, and we're gonna make some sugar cookies today. Let's go through the ingredients really quickly. We've got some flour, sugar. Make sure you use organic sugar if you want it to be vegan, because they use bone char in the filtering process to get it all white in standard sugar, but we don't want that in our sugar cookies, so organic sugar. We've got a flax egg already made. It's just 1 tablespoon of flaxseed and 3 tablespoons of water. We're gonna be using some vanilla extract. We're gonna be using a combination of butter and coconut oil because I don't have the butter I usually bake with, and the Miyoko's is like the good stuff, so we're just gonna cut it. We're gonna do about half and half butter to coconut oil this time. We've also got some non-dairy milk. This is soy milk and baking powder.
These are gonna be after we make the dough. And then we're going to put them inside of the oven. And then we're going to let them cool down. And then we're gonna decorate them.
Okay, so right now we're just gonna mix together our dry ingredients. And I've got regular all-purpose flour here, but if you would like for it to be gluten-free, you could use the Bob's Red Mill gluten-free flour. I hear that's pretty good. But right now, just 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and we're gonna sift this. So let's scoop 1 cup. Dump it in. Very good. Do another cup. Shake it. Dump that in. And with the flour, we're gonna do half a teaspoon of baking powder. Perfect.
Whoa.
And then just a 1/4 teaspoon or so, roughly, oh, that's too much, of salt. Okay, so we're just gonna sift that in. A little bit of that salt left behind, we'll just mix that on in. So that's our dry ingredients. We're just gonna set that aside while we work on our wet ingredients. So now we're going to mix together our wet ingredients, and so we're gonna use a total of 3/4 cup of our butter and our coconut oil mixture. You could use all coconut oil or all butter, vegan butter, if you want to, but we're just splitting it because that's what we have today.
Now we're gonna add in the sugar.
I'm just gonna go ahead and pour in the sugar. And so we have about 3/4 cup of sugar, and this is organic cane sugar. And so I decided my ratio for my coconut oil and my butter is gonna be about half a cup of coconut oil to a 1/4 cup of vegan butter, or Miyoko's vegan butter. So that equals 3/4 cup. There's your math lesson. Here, I'm gonna put it in because it's a little bit messy. There's 1, we need 2 of these of the coconut oil. There's half a cup of coconut oil. So then we're gonna do about a 1/4 cup of our vegan butter. I'm just gonna pack it. Look at that, perfect. So we've got that. We're gonna go ahead, let's add in our vanilla extract. You could do a combination of vanilla and almond extract, but we don't have any almonds right now, so we're just gonna do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And we're gonna go ahead and cream this together, get it nice and combined before we add the rest of our wet ingredients. All right, so we're gonna cream this together with our hand mixer. It's better to have your coconut oil and your butter more soft, like room temperature, versus too cold, just so that way it actually comes together a little bit easier. So now that we have that nice and fluffy, we're gonna add in our flax egg. And if you don't have flax seeds, you can also use ground chia seeds. Same ratio, 1 tablespoon to 3 tablespoons of water as your egg replacer. Okay, just gonna blend it up. So I'm gonna have you scoop a little bit at a time. Try really hard not to spill any, so scoop a little bit. Well, you can do more than that, like 1 big scoop. Perfect. Okay, give me about 2 scoops.
2 more scoops?
Mm-hmm. Mix that a little bit. And it's starting to get a little crumbly. You don't want to overmix this too much, so we're going to fold in the rest of our flour here. Give it a quick mix. All right, so once you have this crumbly mixture, I know it looks a little strange, but this is going to be your cookie dough. So we are going to lay out a piece of parchment paper, or you could just use your counter if it's nice and clean. And we're going to mold this into a big cookie dough ball.
And then we're gonna put it in the oven.
Okay, we're just gonna shake some flour out here on our counter. Okay, so we're gonna kind of mold this together. Our dough is not coming together. I think it's just a little too dry, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of our non-dairy milk and see if we can't get it to kind of come together a little bit more so that we can actually roll it out and cut out our cookies. I feel like that's gonna work a little bit better because now it's actually sticking together, and before it was more of just crumbling all apart. Sugar cookie left behind. All right, that's looking much better. So I added, I don't know, probably about a tablespoon or so of just soy milk to kind of get this coming together. So I'm actually going to, just for a quick second, stick it back in here and put it in the fridge just to chill while I kind of clean up and get our whole setup for our cutting of the cookie doughs and our baking tray and all that stuff. So it's nice and soft, huh? All right, I've just got a little bit more flour laid out. We're gonna get our dough. It's just been chilling just a few minutes, so.
We're gonna cookie cutter it after we roll it out. And then after we roll it out, you're gonna put it, after we use the cookie cutters, we're going to put it in the oven.
At 350.
Yep.
For about 10 to 12 minutes. So let's get some cut out real quick. Let's see, let's do, you wanna do a snowflake?
Yeah, I wanna do it right now.
Okay, do it. Nice, I'm gonna do a Christmas tree.
Look at this.
much fun getting all our shapes cut out. So our dough's gotten a little bit soft. So I'm just gonna put it in the freezer for just a few minutes just so it can kind of firm up, because when we put them in the oven, we want these to stay in their shape. We don't want them to spread out too much. So yeah, that's why we're putting them in the freezer, so we can have their shape stay. So when we decorate them, they look like actual snowflakes, not blobs. So in the freezer for just a few minutes, just so they can kind of chill back up. Because of that oil and that butter, we want it to stay a little bit firmer than what it is now. All right, so while our cookies are chilling in the freezer for just a few minutes, we're gonna make our royal icing. And it's an icing that will start pretty soft, like liquid. You can kind of draw your shapes and your designs, and it should firm up, so that way you can store them at room temperature versus in the fridge. They don't get all melty and your designs stay cute and pretty. So we're gonna do 1 cup of powdered sugar. Do a tiny bit of vanilla extract. And then some non-dairy milk just to combine. But we're gonna start with a tablespoon at a time because we don't wanna get too much that's too runny, but we wanna get it just to where we can kind of draw out our shapes a little bit easier. I'm just using soy milk. We're gonna do one with some blue food coloring for our snowflakes. And then I'm going to attempt to use spirulina. I know it's kind of strong flavor sometimes, but we're gonna use the tiniest amount just to get a little bit of that green color for our Christmas tree, and for decorating our little gingerbread sugar cookie men. We're just gonna add a little bit of blue.
Just a little bit.
Because this blue,
Yeah,
pretty pigmented.
Slime.
Looks like slime?
Yeah.
Kind of looks like slime. I think that's a pretty good snowy blue. Good snowflake blue. Okay. So we're just gonna put this into a bowl, and we're gonna do it again with our green and then even with some white. 1 cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk for each little batch of royal frosting, royal icing that we're making. So our cookies have been in the freezer for about 10 minutes or so. So now we're just gonna go ahead and put them in the oven at 350 for, I think, 10 to 12 minutes. But we'll check them and we'll just see. Right, so we got our cookies out of the oven. We had them go for about 12 minutes because we did just get them straight out of the freezer, so it took them a little bit more time. So I'm just gonna get these off of here if I can, because we want them to cool completely before we do any type of decorating. Okay, so our cookies are done. They're baked. They're still a little bit soft, so I think that they'll still be nice and chewy cookies, not too crunchy. We like cookies that are like, you know, just barely baked in our house, so we're not a huge fan of the crunchy cookies. So I'm happy that these turned out a little bit soft. All right, so are you ready to decorate?
Yes.
Make some cookies?
Yes.
Make some cute cookies? So there's our sugar cookie recipe. We're just gonna keep decorating, making our cookies for Santa. Here, you wanna taste one? Let's taste one. Very good. Oh.
Great.
So the cookie itself, it's still pretty soft. Sweet, but not too sweet. So it's a good balance with the sugary frosting that we made. So I think this would be a perfect vegan sugar cookie recipe to make with your kids, with your family, for Santa, or just for fun, and have fun decorating them. They don't have to be pretty, they still taste good. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.